1370 AM.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 24 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Monday morning. You know, there's one thing about this time of the year that I don't know why it is, but food is, well, you know what? Food is all year long, isn't it? But there's something about this time of year. Food seems to creep into our consciences, is that what you say? Sarabeth Levine is on the phone. I hope I'm saying her last name correctly. She'll correct me in a moment if I'm not. She is an award-winning chef. She's featured in Bon Appetit, Food and Wine, the New York Times. She's the recipient of the James Beard Award for Outstanding Pastry Chef. And I believe it because the book that she's going to talk about is filled with some beautiful pictures of some of her creations. And you can get that book. It's called Sarabeth's Good Morning Cookbook, Breakfast, Brunch, and Baking. Gosh, this is a good time to be looking at these pictures, except that I can't do anything about it. It's just all in the form of pictures. Wow, even something as simple as bacon and eggs looks pretty good. Good morning, Sarabeth. How you doing?
I'm great. The heat's coming up here. Can you hear our pipes clanking in the bakery?
Where are you? Where are you calling from?
We're here in New York, and we got our first taste of winter. I mean, not that there's snow or anything, but it got pretty chilly last night, and the heat's coming up in the bakery, which is pretty interesting.
Oh, okay. And so that's not usual.
Well, no, it's usual in the winter, but this is the first time we've heard the heat go on, so hallelujah.
Yeah, really. So the ovens don't keep you warm. You have to have heat the way the rest of us get heat.
Well, you know, there's only really heat in the offices, and out front bakery, there's no heat. We have plenty of heat coming from our ovens.
Oh, really?
Yes. But yes, this book is here.
Do you know what I wish? I mean, menus would have to cost a fortune to print up a menu that had pictures like these, but it would be so much easier for me as a non-educated culinary guy. I have no idea when I'm ordering stuff that I've never heard of. I don't know what
That's why they have all these pictures on their menus in Japan.
Oh, really?
Yes, so many of the restaurants, they show the food, and because people want to see what they're eating.
So the one that I opened to that I wanted to ask you about was, let me describe it for the listeners. It looks like flaky yellow things.
Yeah.
Almost like rumpled edge Pringles or something. Mm-hmm. And it's on the page.
What page are you on?
73.
I'm going there right now.
It says baked layered blintzes.
Those are the blintzer skins. You know, when we were shooting the book, I had to make lots of blintzes, and I had a big pile of skins sitting there. And when the photographer was
Sarabeth, are you on a speakerphone by chance?
Oh, get rid of that? There we go. Is that better?
That is better, yes. Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Anyway, when we were shooting for the blintzes, I had a big stack of skins waiting to be filled. And I tossed the whole pile of them over to I put them on the dish, and I said, here, shoot these. We might need some filler somewheres in the book. And isn't that an amazing picture?
That is.
How creative.
So that's not a finished product. That's just something waiting to be used?
That's an unfinished product. Well, here's the thing. With the blintzes, which is a wonderful, it's like a very thinner than a crepe. It's mostly egg, very little flour, and it rolls up, and it encases this wonderful, wonderful combination of farmer cheese and cream cheese with a little bit of lemon zest and a little sugar. It's a blintzer. It's a Jewish thing, which we love. It's our heritage. And these are blintzes. And the reason why I showed them like this on this particular page is because you can also, instead of having to roll them all up, you can lay them out like a lasagna in a square pan, or in a rather rectangular glass pan. Spread the cheese and some wonderful strawberry rhubarb preserves, and just layer it and bake it off when you have a lot of guests, so that you don't have to stand by the stove and prepare and saute all the blintzes. And that's how that came about. So those are those blintzes that become the lasagna type layers. The
Wow.
morning
Wow.
thing. Yeah, that's a beautiful picture.
So,
But the book is so beautiful and it has so many great recipes, and Rizzoli does such an amazing job in their production. I mean, if you have your book right there and you close your eyes and you rub your hand on that page, it's like silk.
It's
the
like
paper
silk.
is so.
all right. Well, let me tell you an experience we had. We went to this convention and they had at the Marriott this free what do you call it, waffle maker thing, and I don't think I ever made a waffle in my life. Well, maybe I did, but I'm not good at it. But anyway, so they had this waffle maker thing, and you poured a cup of stuff on it and you turned it over, and voila, you had a waffle about 2 minutes later. Okay. Then I brought it to my table, and I thought, well, what do you put on this thing? I treated it like a pancake, and I put butter and syrup on it, and I thought, gosh, I don't think this is supposed to have butter and syrup on it. And now I look in your book, and you can use a waffle as to make a sandwich. I think that's a better way to use a waffle.
Oh, I don't know. I think a waffle is great anyway. You know, I'm this kind of person where I'll break off little pieces with my fingers, because food always tastes better when you eat it with your fingers.
It does.
I break off a little piece and just dippy-do it into the maple syrup, and really good pure maple syrup. I'm not talking about, make-believe. I'm talking about the real stuff.
Oh, yes.
And, I've spoiled my family. I take my maple syrup and I heat it just a little bit to take the chill off, because we do store it in the refrigerator.
Right.
And this way you get the warm maple syrup and the crunchy waffle or the pancake. And to me, it doesn't need much of anything else, even just butter, and it tastes good to me. But I give you a wonderful recipe of how to make a simple buttermilk waffle and turn it into a BLT, a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich, or turn it into any kind of a sandwich. And it's pretty tasty and pretty delicious, and, just another creative way to use a morning dish.
And I think presentation is everything. I mean, that really makes it look much more scrumptious if you do it very artsy like you have in your book.
Oh, thank you. Well, what's really great is that people have a tendency to skip breakfast. And to me, that's like such a no-no for your body and for your mind. The children get up in the morning, they got to eat a breakfast.
Yeah.
Even if it's small, even if it's some wonderful homemade granola, you can make my granola and store it in a big container, and the kids can just grab it on their way, just almost on their way out the door. And it's with a little yogurt or whatever, milk, and some fresh banana. You've got to eat in the morning, and there's some very simple things that you can make ahead that you have to serve the family, because we need to have our brain fired in the morning, and that's what helps these kids get through the day at school, especially the morning hours before lunch.
Sarabeth, is your last name pronounced Levine or Levine?
Levine.
Levine, okay. We need to take a little break, and when we come back, I want to tell you what in the book reminds me of my grandfather.
Oh, I love it.
Because I grew up in New York. My I'll tell you nothing else. I'll just wait till after the break, okay? The book is called Sarabeth's Good Morning Cookbook, Breakfast, Brunch, and Baking. It is huge. You could consider this a coffee table book. I would. It's got some beautiful.
It weighs almost 4 pounds.
It's beautiful.
And you could actually, and there's recipes as well. It's not simply a look at and admire book. You actually can use the information in the book. So we'll take a little break and be right back with Sarabeth Levine after the weather and a few other breaks and announcements, and then we'll be right back. How come it's not doing it? Hold on. I got to push a button here. All right, we'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Times of clouds and sunshine and breezy today. There can be a shower, even a thunder shower in spots along the coast. The high today 75 to 79. And partly cloudy tonight, lows ranging from 59 in the coolest inland spots to 71 along the coast. Tomorrow, clouds and some sun and quite breezy. There may be a shower along the coast, the high 80 to 84. For Wednesday, partly sunny and breezy again. A shower at the coast, the high 80 to 84. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Joe Lundberg.
Central Florida Eye Institute is the area's leader in laser vision correction. From high-definition refraction surgery and LASIK vision correction to custom cataract, glaucoma, and diabetic treatment, you can count on Dr. Crowley and his effective, friendly staff to provide you with the quality care you deserve. Call 352-237-8400 for an appointment or more information. That number again is 352-237-8400. Looking forward to service your vision needs.
Looking for some quality green for your yard? Then save your green right now by checking this week's ad for Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens in Ocala. Again, this week, Bob features lots of buy one, get one deals that can't be beat. I'm talking Laura Petalum. I'm talking Confederate Jasmine. Buy one, get one free. Trees, take your pick. Any tree in stock, buy one and get the second one for half price. Quality knockout roses, also buy one, get the second for half price. Mix or match big trees, 7 to 10 feet tall, and get 4 of these beauties, just $5.99 delivered and planted. That's a downright unbelievable deal. And don't forget the truckload azalea sale. Quality azaleas, the history-making low price of $1.99 or 10 for $14.99 now. Hurry this week to Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens in Ocala. Open daily till 4, Saturdays till 2. Homegrown, locally owned since 1952.
Cookies, 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 cookies. When you want something special and fun for any occasion, get cookies. That's right. The Great American Cookie Company in the Paddock Mall, Ocala will make a delicious, fun-filled delight just for you. You might notice that I said fun and delicious more than once. That's because I can't say it enough. The next time you're at the mall, be sure and stop by or call 352-237-2557 to place your order.
Cookies, cookies,
Yum.
cookies, cookies. We go cookie eating cookies.
The Great American Cookie Company.
12 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. I'm really not a cook in any way. However, I do have my friend come over on Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings, and I do make breakfast, right?
Yes, you
right?
make
I do
eggs.
make breakfast. I make, and that's my point. I make eggs and toast, fried eggs and toast. Sometimes I make an omelet. I bought one of those little things where you put it in the microwave, and now I'm learning from this book that there's a whole lot of other things I could be doing for breakfast if I just want to put a little effort into it. Sarabeth Levine, isn't that a pretty name, Sarabeth?
Beautiful.
Sarabeth Levine.
Thank you.
On the phone, up in New York somewhere, probably smelling really good. The heat from...
Oh, it is. I'm sitting in the we're in the bakery.
and
Close your eyes and take a big...
What is your address? Where are you? Where's the bakery?
Market. I'm at 75 9th Avenue.
75 9th Avenue.
Market between 9th and 10th Avenue.
Okay. I'll have to look it up. I'm sort of kind of familiar. I grew up there, but it's been so long. So anyway, let me tell you my grandfather's story. My grandfather and grandmother lived in the Bronx. And when I was a kid, we lived in Levittown on Long Island. And they would always come over on Sunday mornings with bakery stuff. The one thing I always loved was this crumb cake that they brought over. And if you buy like an Entenmann's crumb cake or something, it's not even close. Not picking on the company, but it's hard to find what he used to bring over. But it sounds like you can make it according to the book, right?
Well, in my my first book, I have this wonderful crumb cake recipe.
Well, don't you have one in here too?
I don't think so. I'm looking here.
Wait a minute.
You got me going now. You see?
I did see it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have brought it up.
This is my
where did I see
how
it?
could that be? I know I've got the streusel on the French toast.
I like the
I'm
things with
looking
the
here.
pecans.
You're right. It's this book. I did a little twist on it. Yes, I have two kinds of plum cakes. In my first book, I have the Sir Francis cake, which is with the crumbs on the top, individual, made with heavy cream. This one I did in a big square, just like a traditional New York crumb cake.
Yeah.
If you make this cake, and I'm instructing you to do this.
Oh, there you go.
You are going to have that moment of your grandfather bringing you.
Really? Oh, well,
because you can't get crumb cake today the way they used to make it.
Even there?
And I want to tell you something. That Entenmann's crumb cake from 30 years ago, 40 years ago, even 50 years ago, that cake used to be really, really good. And I don't know if they even make it anymore.
Oh, really? Yeah, they do. I mean,
it's processed now, though.
You can buy it, but yeah, there's a preservative that you can sort of kind of feel in the aftertaste.
I know, you can taste it in the oil. You get a whole different thing.
Right. So okay, I found
Not that it isn't good because people still love it and they buy those little Drake's cakes. You know that.
Okay, and you know what my mom used to do with the crumb cake that my grandfather would bring over that didn't get eaten right away. She would slice it down the middle. In other words, split the top from the bottom.
Horizontally.
Yeah.
Right.
And she'd put whipped cream in there or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's nice. That's delicious.
Yeah, that sounds
Yum,
good. Yeah.
This is really wonderful for parents when they're teaching their children math, that they can sit down with one of your recipes. The children can measure out all the ingredients, and at the end of that math session, which they don't even realize they're learning, they'll have something delicious to taste.
Well, you know what's really terrific? I was out in California because one of my daughters, she moved to California, and the boys are now at school in California, and one of them goes to this really, really wonderful 7 Arrows school, it's called. And I did a little presentation when I was out there, and my book is in measurements of cups and sometimes ounces, depending what you have to buy in the market because they don't have gram scales in the market. Mm-hmm. And everybody but the U.S. deals with ounces. With grams, right? So the book, to make it more precise, is done in ounces as well as grams.
Oh, yeah.
And cups. And what was really great was that the day before I gave the little class at the school, I was looking at my grandson's homework, and I said, Jack, you're learning all these conversions, liters and grams. I was like really excited to see that they're really now starting to really teach this in the schools, and the kids get a feeling for the conversion, which is really important when it comes to cooking, actually baking, more important than baking for the precision. And so I made this available in this new book where I have everything in the grams, and I think that you're right, it's great for the kids because they're going to see the grams now because they're all learning about it, and they'll get a feel for it. They'll be able to visualize.
Do you have bagels in here? I'm looking to see if you have bagels. Can you make your own? I've never seen somebody make...
I have these little mini bagels that I make. I have one dough that I make. It's a yeasted dough that I use for 5 different items. The sticky buns, a coffee cake, a different kind, a yeasted coffee cake with cinnamon sugar running through it.
Wow.
And stews on the top. And what I want my readers and my people who bake from my book to see is that you can have one dough that makes many different things. Now, it's not a true New York bagel because it's lighter and it's more pastry-like. But on that page, when you see you see the smoked fish on that bagel?
Uh-huh.
Oh, my God, that is so delicious. That smoked salmon.
Oh, I bet that's delicious. I love that.
Oh, my God.
Is that cooked?
I even teach you how to do a 3-herb gravlax to make your own smoked salmon.
Uh-huh.
That's in the book. It's very simple.
Because that's tricky.
How come a Jewish girl is selling me bacon? What's the matter?
Oh, my God. Look at page 252. My God, these beautiful double salmon rillettes. I'm getting hungry. I didn't have my usual big breakfast this morning. I've been on the telephone.
Well, you're making all of us hungry. I think that's your job. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's my job.
Yeah, but it seems like you've really taken a lot of old world dishes and made them into current dishes. And that makes it exciting.
I look at the pictures. It's very exciting. I'm looking at the heirloom tomato crostata. Look at these wonderful, these little, what do you call it, the individual croissant vegetable stratas in the little stout grape pots individual. How cute are those?
Oh, they are very.
Mushrooms. Mm-hmm. There's a lot here, and there's a lot for brunch. There's a lot for breakfast. And then much of this food could even be eaten for a light supper on Sunday. And I think that my people who buy this book will be very happy with this book. I'm pleased with it.
So you have a lot of things in here I've never had, by the way. Maybe I've had a variation on some things, but there's a lot of stuff I've never had. Here in Florida, we have a lot of citrus. You have something called the citrus sundial, and you would think that I would have had that living down here in Florida, but I've never had that.
Well, it's just an arrangement of the fruit on the plate. You can either just in the picture we kind of mix it, put it together. But in the restaurants, what I do is I take a slice, one section of grapefruit that I've segmented the grapefruit and the orange, and I alternate them around like a sundial. And then in the middle of the center, I put a little dollop of yogurt or sour cream or whatever you choose, or nice fresh ricotta, and sprinkle it with some some sunflower seeds, or some granola, whatever your choice is, and it looks like a sundial. That's how it got its name.
Oh, there's a picture of you.
And that's how we serve it at the restaurant.
On the back, there's a picture of you. How come you're not overweight? How come you're in good shape?
Oh, my God.
Look at you.
I don't know. I eat. I'm not a skinny McLinky Dinky.
You
I'm
look.
okay.
You don't look heavy.
I'm not.
No.
I'm in the middle.
You're making cooking exciting, because I hate when commercials come on television and say there's no time to cook anymore and no time to have family meals. It's not true, and you're really throwing that myth a curve by putting out this wonderful book.
Oh, thank you so much.
I'm guessing
You've
people.
got to try the 4 flowers juice. We make that in the restaurants too.
The 4 flowers juice.
Amazing.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
That is banana, orange juice. Okay. A bit of lemon juice, pineapple, fresh pineapple, and banana. You grind it up. You puree it, and then you dilute it with fresh orange juice. That is so delicious, and if you really feel like you want to give it something really special, you just put a little pinch of vanilla in it, and my goodness, and that makes the greatest 4 flowers mimosa that you could ever have. I mean,
my
it's
gosh.
really delicious. And the reason why it's called flowers is because all citrus, before it becomes a fruit, it is a flower. If you notice, even on a tomato plant, first comes the flower, and then comes the fruit.
That's true.
Exactly.
That's true.
I love that.
So I just went to Street View to see your place. It looks like they got it covered by a truck.
Where?
On Street View on Google. I went to look at the bakery. I went to 75 9th Avenue, and there's a big Manhattan Fruit Exchange truck sitting outside your door, so I can't see your door.
Well, is it my? No, it's not out my door. I'm looking out the window. I'm on the side street. That must be on the other end. Well, Manhattan Fruit is the fruiter guy across the hall from me.
Across the hall. Yeah, the produce, the Western beef guy, right?
It's like this is like if you would call this this building, this Chelsea Market,
right?
Is one city square block. It's a bunch of buildings. It used to be the Nabisco building, and there were several buildings that they just, I guess, as they expanded the Nabisco Baking Company, they kept knocking out walls and joining the buildings.
Oh, that's interesting.
So this is like a big complex, and down through the center, because if you enter on 9th Avenue, there's entrances in the middle of the building, and it goes straight through to 10th Avenue, and you have all these wonderful places, and everything about food is here. It's just a really special place.
Robinson,
I'm hoping when you come to New York, you'll come and visit.
I will. Robinson works not too far from where you are. He works very close to the Empire State Building. It looks like you're not that far from it.
I'm not.
Well, this has been a good... people are going to buy this book as a gift, as a holiday gift. Get Sarabeth.
They better get it all dirty and messy. And I told people, you get that book dirty and messy and put it in the kitchen and don't leave it on the coffee table, even though it looks like a coffee table cookbook.
Yeah, sure does.
And you get it so dirty and you tear the cover and it becomes a mess, you just call me. I'll send you another one. Use it.
I have a free one.
Don't
call me right now if you're a listener and you want the one that we have. It's 4-pound heavy. It is a coffee table book. Sarabeth's Good Morning Cookbook. Call me and I'll put your name on it. It'll be waiting for you. I've got 10 seconds to find out how the rest of us go buy it. Sarabeth, how do we go buy this?
Well, you go to my website, sarabeth.com, and all my books are signed by me. They come by the cases down to the bakery from the Bronx, because that's where the jam factory is. That makes all our special preserves. I sign them. In fact, there are 5 cases sitting on the baker's bench outside when they're done for you to sign and send back uptown. So it's Sarabeth.com.
Sarabeth.com. Sarabeth, thank you. You are a delight. I have somebody on the phone who wants the book, so I'll do that off the air. We have to go to the news. Thank you, Sarabeth. We'll be right back.
To meet with Israeli and Palestinian leaders this week. Today in Madrid, expressing support for Israel.
Israel has every right in the world to protect its citizens, as it has been.
In the past month, 9 Israelis and 41 Palestinians have been killed. Donald Trump repeating that the 9/11 attacks happened under President George Bush's watch.
This morning, he stuck by his remarks, saying, as President Trump,
if my immigration policies were in effect, I don't know that would have happened.
Jeb Bush wondered on CNN's State of the Union if Trump is fit for office.
I have grave doubts, to be honest with you.
Saying he thinks Trump is not taking the possibility of being president seriously.
Fox Radio Radio's Rachel Sutherland. Central New York State getting an early blast of winter, up to 9 inches of weekend snow in the Syracuse area, leading to several accidents. Fox News, we report, you decide.
You know the story of Hansel and Gretel, where Hansel left breadcrumbs on the trail so they could find their way back home? That's what you do when you use public Wi-Fi, or shop online, or give out your social security number at your doctor's office or the bank. You leave breadcrumbs on the trail for someone to possibly steal your identity and take everything you own. At LifeLock, we use proprietary technology to detect signs that someone has picked up your breadcrumbs to take what's yours. And unlike free credit monitoring services,